So a very good morning to everyone. And today we are very glad to have my best friend, Jenny from year 13. And she's not only just an A-level student, but she was also in the national debating team where they represent Malaysia in competitions. And she has already 8 years or more of public speaking experiences. So we went to find her and asking if she would like to conduct a public speaking workshop to all of you guys. And so here she is, but do mind that she's actually very sick. She just had a high fever yesterday. So please mind if there's any careless mistakes made. So I would like to now welcome Jenny on stage with us.
Good morning, POWIIS. Please do forgive me if I sound a little bit like an old man this morning. My throat is not feeling the best. But I'm very happy to be here with all of you and Vinci, the SSC leader, to try and give you a little bit of insight of public speaking and what it's like to be a public speaker. So the first question that I like to ask anyone who's getting into public speaking is to picture yourself on the stage. I'm not going to try and persuade you or try to convince you to immediately join a competition or be a public speaker, but to see how you feel, if you feel comfortable, if you feel nervous when you come up on stage or not. So picture yourself up here, all eyes and ears focused on you, and if you feel that twinge of nervousness or uncertainty. So today, we'll tackle the art of public speaking and see how we can turn those feelings and those nerves right around. Because chances are, you might be dealing with glossophobia. It's a fear of public speaking, and surprisingly, it's more common than you think. It's way more common in the global population than the fear of heights or the dark. So I say this because I want to emphasize how normal it is to be afraid of coming up on stage, of how normal it is to be hesitant of even trying public speaking in the first place, let alone learn how to be a public speaker. Because I've been there as well. It's how I started out. It's how a lot of us started out. But do allow me to share my experience today on how I overcame the stage fright and started off with my career in public speaking. Personally, in my book, I feel that there are two ways to tackle the fear of public speaking. First up, you could always take the baby steps approach, and you start by presenting to someone that you trust, like a parent or like a friend. It's a safe space to fumble and stumble, mess up or embarrass yourself without judgment. Because that's what that fear comes from, simply the fear of people judging you, simply the fear of rejection. But gradually, as you face larger groups, like groups of friends or your classroom, you realize it's really not as scary as it seemed. Because messing up is totally okay, and you learn to just roll with it and build your self-assurance and your confidence bit by bit. Or you could go my route, which is how I learned, which is the cold water plunge. Just like jumping into an icy water, like when you're going swimming in the morning and the pool is freezing cold, diving straight into public speaking can be a shock at first. Whether it's joining a competition or just presenting with zero experience and zero preparation. But that initial embarrassment and terror will fade, because the worst is already over. Once you've taken that leap, everything else feels way less intimidating. Both methods do need time, they both need practice, and it's all about finding what makes you feel comfortable in the water. But it really just all boils down to one key mantra, and that's practice, practice, practice. Ask anyone in front of a crowd who is confident, like Mr. Hodge maybe, and chances are they'll credit it to relentless practice. Because with time, you become comfortable in your own skin, you care less about mistakes and what the audience thinks of you. Here are some practice methods where I believe can really help you get used to public speaking and kind of get used to that fear of coming up on stage. I believe in dissecting other people's presentations for inspiration. You could watch YouTube videos or just listen closely during assemblies, noting what you like and dislike about the speech. By being the audience, and you can learn how to connect with the audience when you're the one who's presenting. If you ever enjoy how a certain person on stage talks, copy what engages you. Now that's called mirroring. Stand in front of a mirror or record yourself and just try to mimic a speaker's style, the way they talk, the way they act, when they pause, when they speed up, until it naturally blends in with your own. Also, in public speaking, you'll always face criticism, just like you'll face criticism everywhere. It's tough, but it's very important and it's invaluable. You learn to absorb feedback, and it reveals what works and what doesn't. So remember that you cannot please everyone, because everybody's going to have different opinions, and that's fine, that's perfectly fine. Because as the speaker, your goal is simply to share, it's not to argue with anyone. Or else I'd be doing a presentation on debating. But just remember that if you think you've done the best, then you've probably done the best already. Also, make sure that for practice, take as many opportunities as you can, whether it's competitions, class presentations, or assemblies. Grab any opportunity you can find to speak in front of the public, because each chance sharpens your confidence, it sharpens your ability, and makes you a better communicator as a whole.
So, now let's talk about the do's and don'ts of public speaking. Some of the common knowledge might sound, some of these might sound very common to you, but maintaining eye contact, avoiding stuttering, speaking loud and clear, and I won't bore you with the basics, but here are some tips I wish that I know when I started.
So, I think when it comes to public speaking, most of us know, like Vinci said, the basics. We already know a lot of the common knowledge, and we hear about it a lot. But actually, as a public speaker, in my experience myself, I find that there are certain things that we don't really think about as beginners when we start out. Because when it comes to public speaking, more than anything, planning is key. Because you have to research your topic very well and structure your speech properly with a beginning, a middle, and end, because you need to engage your audience from the start, pack the middle full of interesting information, and also decide if your ending should be short and impactful or just straightforward. This planning process allows for creative freedom. It's also personally, I believe it's the most enjoyable part of public speaking, because you get to write and you get to talk about whatever you love, whatever you're passionate about. So, also understanding your audience is very crucial. You have to tailor your speech to either be more general and open to everyone, or specifically appealing to certain demographics, certain groups of people, like kids or an older audience. I once witnessed a speaker come up on stage and discuss K-pop and TikTok trends to a very old audience, and let me tell you, I've never seen people more confused in their life. So do be mindful of who you're addressing, because your goal is to share and capture the audience. Time management is also a challenge, and still something that I do struggle with. You have to stick to the allocated time, and too short, you leave no impact, you leave no impression, and too long, you risk the audience being bored. So please create a version of yourself for the stage who is confident and knows what to do. You have to project this confident persona, even if you're not naturally confident. Because faking confidence helps you overcome that fear of judgment and also keeps your speech flowing smoothly. And the largest tip I hear in public speaking given to beginners is like, oh, your body language, you have to make eye contact. But just personally, I believe you should just forget the overly rehearsed body language tips. Instead, focus on building your confidence. Because when you talk to a friend, you talk to someone you trust, you naturally make eye contact, you naturally emphasize certain words, and you move naturally. So building confidence is the key to being natural in every aspect of public speaking. If you want to come off as natural, you have to work hard in building that ability to not fear what the audience judges you, and just treat the audience not as a group of strangers, but maybe more like a trusted friend. So when it comes to the don'ts of public speaking, taking pauses to collect your thoughts is okay, but never stop completely. It's okay to pause for a second to collect your thoughts if you trip up. However, just don't stop completely, because you see how it completely interrupts my flow, it completely distracts the audience, and makes it difficult for what you were talking about before. People don't remember that. People remember, why did she stop suddenly? It confuses them. So it's crucial to plan to avoid such interruptions. If you lose track, make sure you have a filler ready, a repeated or emphasized line from before, or just something rough you come up with on the spot. It might be rough, but it keeps the flow intact. And in public speaking, that's the most important part because you need to constantly grab the audience's attention. So maintain your character on stage. You represent what you're talking about. Whatever topic you're talking about, you represent yourself. So present yourself as knowledgeable and assured because that is someone worth listening to. In the audience, you're not going to spend your time listening to someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. You would rather listen to someone who knows what they're talking about. Nervousness is natural, and you can even admit it casually, and just avoid breaking character by getting overly personal or apologizing excessively and getting too emotional. Just take a breather when you need it, but always remain composed to keep the audience engaged. So, why consider diving into public speaking? I saved this for last because I understand that many of us may not initially warm up to the idea. However, exploring the more realistic side of it might make some of you more open to starting out small. Public speaking unlocks a world and realm of skills and opportunities. You develop a lot of transferable skills applicable in daily life, such as better social skills or leadership, the ability to make friends and connections. You can pave the way for future career opportunities. So performing well in interviews or presentations can secure that dream job or university admission, and it might even lead to a promotion. Consider these competitions and presentations as just great extracurriculars to boost your university application or CV. And as social creatures, we humans love to talk and we love to interact. So mastering the art of engaging others in conversation can take you very far in life. But regardless of your chosen field, whether it's sciences, sports, or arts, effective communication, critical thinking, and leadership skills are vital for your character building. So why not embrace public speaking to benefit your personal and professional growth? If today's speech has sparked your interest in just dipping your toes into public speaking, here are some ways that I would recommend to get started. Firstly, consider the opportunities within school. Assemblies or class presentations are excellent small-scale platforms to try and build your confidence. Additionally, our school hosts events like the World Scholars Cup, which offers a very beginner-friendly 3-minute debate on a very well-prepared topic. It's a great way to feel the competitive spirit and experience what it's like to have strangers judge you and listen to your speech for the first time. It's actually how I started out going to WSC, not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say at all. But also, our school collaborates with MIDP, which is the Institute of Debating and Public Speaking. It provides many workshops, various workshops, classes, and competitions for you to participate in. So gaining experience in events like these is extremely important, where you can learn from experienced coaches and other speakers. Whether it's public speaking, debating, storytelling, or poetry slam, you're acquiring the same set of skills, and I do highly encourage everyone to try and apply for a workshop once in a while. Our school always keeps everyone posted. So additionally, beyond school, there are numerous other opportunities, such as international competitions like the English Speaking Union, Toastmasters, or TED Talks. If you're ever considering getting into public speaking, reach out to people at school like Mr. Darren, or feel free to even ask me any questions you might have. The world of public speaking is very vast, it's huge, and there's always a place for everyone to explore and grow. And with that, I genuinely hope I've managed to persuade some of you to give public speaking a try. It's truly enjoyable to talk about something you're very passionate about. So don't shy away from the opportunity to share your voice and connect with others, because who knows, you might discover a whole new world of ability and confidence and development of yourself. So I would really recommend everyone to give it a shot, and you might just surprise yourself with how well you can do.